Are you feeling sexy? Do you bound out of bed in the morning with energy and excitement for the day ahead? Does your body tingle with energy and your head buzz with anticipation? Do you feel alive? Really alive? Come on, you say you can't possibly get up every day feeling that good. Yes, I agree. Everyone has natural cycles of feeling high and low. Feeling that good all the time would actually be really annoying, not only to ourselves but those around us. But you can tap into a natural source of energy and create a higher state of being into your everyday life. Health is a relative term. For some, it's not being ill. For others, healthy is being in peak form, especially for athletes. Most people exist in a state of subhealth and don't even realize it. Their energy levels are low most of the time, so this feels normal to them. Colds are a common occurrence, and the joy of being able to sleep in is their sluggish body slowing them down. Apart from the obvious unhealthy habits that slow us down, our libido also has an important part to play. Sexual health is a major part of our overall health. Our sexual energy and how we use that sexual energy affects us daily. The sexiness of our mind and how we feel about ourselves affects us. How comfortable we feel in our own skin. This all comes from within and cannot depend on another person affirming us. Feeling sexy is not about asking your husband if your butt looks good in this dress. Feeling sexy comes from an energy inside, an inner source of satisfaction, and knowing that you are sexy because you feel sexy. So where does this sexy feeling come from? We all have sexual energy. We call it sex drive. It's our natural hormones prompting us and reminding us that there is a natural act for us to do that is not only useful in recreating more life, but also creating more life in ourselves. From an early age, we learn to repress and control this energy or drive. Talking about sex openly is not that acceptable and labelled as unacceptable. How do we know our sex life is healthy when we don't talk about it to find out? Except the boys in the locker room, much bragging and joking. In this age of increasing spiritual awareness, we're becoming more in touch with ourselves, spiritually and sexually. Anyone who states they're not very spiritual is just disconnected or unaware. They have become distracted by the distractions of the modern world and disconnected with their true selves. No one feels comfortable with their sexuality. This is a side effect of the many thousands of years of social repression. Many cultures outlaw it. When you feel fantastic about yourself, physically and mentally, you automatically feel fantastic sexually, and this needs to be expressed. It is a part of your spirituality. Sex is a connection to your spirituality. How fearful is it then that the church has labelled it as evil, as something that disconnects you from your spirituality? But it's quite the opposite. Spiritual stimulation is everywhere. Spiritualism has become commercialized. The world is now offering us many ways to help us on our spiritual path. Unlike religion, there is no right or wrong way. Whatever speaks to us and works for us is right for us, and perhaps this too is constantly changing. So what does sex have to do with spirituality, you ask? If we listen to our church leaders, sex is only for those who are committed to each other through marriage, and if you are truly spiritual, then you wouldn't need it at all. This may be the truth for some, but is their truth and no one else's. It doesn't have to be yours unless you want it to be. We create our own truth. You can follow the truth of the yogis who find enlightenment through meditation. But what is meditation? Stilling the mind to open your subconscious, to tap into the pool of consciousness. You don't have to sit cross-legged for hours to achieve this. Meditation is different for everyone. For some, it may be finding a mosquito-ridden creek in the middle of the mangroves and fishing for hours on end in solitude. For some, it may be painting or pushback riding. Whatever stills the drunken monkeys in your head and takes you to a higher plane of being. Life itself is a meditation, not removing yourself from it. Sex is a meditation. Making love is a meditation. It can be just a physical act of self-pleasure and indulgence, or it can take you to a higher state of being and bring healing and creative energy into physical form. Sex is sacred. Not only in the way the church leaders teach us, but in a truly deeper level, beyond just honoring our partner and creating life. Sex is universal. Everyone can participate, even without a partner. What is not universal is belief systems and what is right and wrong surrounding sexual conduct. Your body is your greatest source of pleasure. I find sex the greatest way to physical pleasure. Some find exercise and pushing themselves to the limit. Some find eating and drinking the greatest source of pleasure, of their physical pleasure. For me and many others, sex can be the most amount of fun you can have with your body. Here is where we get confused though. We are taught that it is okay to see a display of violence and anger on our televisions, but not okay to see a display of love, affection and physical expression of sex. Hide those nipples. People being influenced by others' perceptions of the right and wrong of this world find other ways to pleasure in their bodies. We turn to food, wine, sport and deny ourselves the pure pleasure of sex. We are taught that sex is for only people in love. Sex is pure fun and joy. Is that so wrong? For sure it can be misused in many ways, but so can everything. What a delicious way to recreate life. It isn't compulsory to be with someone you love to have sex. Sex is an expression of self-love. Sex is an expression of the joy of life. Life is for living and experiencing. If you want to experience just sex without love, this is not possible, because simply being involved in the act of sex is an expression of self-love. Life is for experiencing and finding out what gives you joy. You don't need to have a reason for anything. Just be the cause. Be the cause of your experience. So, are you feeling sexy? Do what it takes to come alive. Jump off a cliff, swim in cold water, drive a fast car. What makes you feel sexy and alive? Feeling sexy is the first step to embracing and loving yourself. It is the first step to finding orgasmic flow and being able to tap into your sexual energy to use it for self-development and spiritual growth. Yes, feeling sexy is a part of spiritual growth. What can you do that makes you feel sexy? It's very, very important.